All right, welcome back to Avid Mastermind and Teach Better Family. So great to see everyone today, and we just are recapping our wonderful conversation with phenomenal administrators and leaders all over this country. And Jeff, once again, I know everyone's probably tired of us saying it, is the conversation just keeps on rolling.
Yeah, it's awesome to see the conversations happening because we were just talking before we hit record that like it seems to just be requiring less and less of us from the
Yeah,
team because the conversations are happening. That's the goal of this mastermind, right? Is to create a space and a community for school leaders and administrators to come together and be able to come with brainstorming ideas, with collaboration ideas, and with challenges and with
yeah.
struggles and with maybe some stress and frustration and venting, and it has become that place, and we're seeing that again. We saw that again in our this week's uh, meeting as well. So
Mhm.
it's been really cool to see.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love seeing everyone each week. And so, for those who maybe are just touching on this video for the first time on YouTube, we meet every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. It's free, so you can sign up at teachbetter.com/mastermind, and you can definitely join the conversation as we're collaborating as a group each week. And Jeff, I know you prompted everyone just to kind of get a temperature of where folks were at. So, do you mind just sharing out kind of
Yeah.
what you asked the group to start the conversation?
Yeah, so this was actually one of the first in many weeks that we actually, like, had to do, like, a prompt to get the conversation going, but then it went. So, the prompt that I use is I asked the group, "How are you ensuring that the work that you and your staff have done around PD and initiatives and the changes you're making, like, how are you, ensuring that it's continuing to work and staying in place now that we're deeper into the school year, finishing up the first, 9 weeks and stuff like that?" So, that was good. There was a few different ideas that all basically centered around communication, which we talked a lot about in this group and on these recaps. In different variations of different team meeting settings and utilizing whatever they could. One of our members mentioned adjusting schedules actually to make sure that teachers have a common plan-in period, which she noted that is not always easy to do, not always possible. They're very fortunate that they were able to make that happen, but really came down to just trying to find the opportunity for continuous communication amongst your teachers and with your teachers, and really ensuring that the communication around the vision that was set in place and the reasoning for the work you've done, the systems you have in place, the initiatives that you're putting in place, and the ongoing like reminder of that vision and continuous like clarification of that vision so that they see how it connects to everything. Because it's really easy to get excited about something, behind something, at the start of the year or even at the end of the year going into next year, right? And then get into the thick of the year and the challenges that you face every single day, it can become easy to like go back or forget about that little piece because it just no longer feels as important because you're not excited about the vision. So continuously having those conversations and reminding them of the vision. And then also, and Josh, just like hard back to like multiple, like pretty much all of September's meetings were all about building this and creating this culture and environment for your teachers to know that they can come to you with criticisms, with ideas, with complaints, with whatever, whether it was about you, concerns about different things that are going on, whatever it was. And so this came up again in this week's meeting about how that's so important to this continuous communication, and the vision is you have to continuously work on and continue to foster, never stop fostering this culture and environment and an expectation of like, you can come to me for whatever you need. And I'm going to do my best to support you and my best to help and fix things. You don't need to be worried about, you don't need to be nervous about. We are in this together. We just have different roles, right? And so that really was the sort of the theme. It just came back to that, which we shared a bunch of different ways that they do it, and a lot of it was okay. Looking for opportunities. How can we utilize maybe elective courses to have all the students in the elective classes, so that then this group of teachers can meet, and vice versa, and giving them the opportunity as leaders that way. Someone also mentioned a what they referred to as a pulse survey, and they mentioned it was actually mentioned on Call to Pedagogy, the podcast. It's something that I think Jennifer Gonzalez talked about, being a pulse survey where you're asking the staff how they feel. Instead of just assuming it or looking at data, actually asking them, how do you feel about this? And I think that is super key. We talked briefly, Ray was in there, Ray and I talked a little bit. That's something that the team's doing right now is our semester, our fall reset, performance reset, which is where we come in and actually as a third party help get a feel for where are the teachers at, what are they feeling, and how do they understand that. We bring that back to administrators. Well, here's where things are at, here's where things are progressing, and then we, if we're available to help and we make sense, great. But like, whether it's us or something you can find online or someone internally or whatever it is, getting a pulse of where your teachers feel like things are at. Like, how do they feel about what work you've done? I think, versus just assuming, Josh, I think is the key. So really just circles around to communication, lots and lots of communication.
Well, communication, but also giving a platform for your staff to provide
Yeah.
input. And
Yes.
also that trust piece, which we've talked about before, but just making sure that your staff understands that this is a safe space to be able to provide feedback, because there is a hierarchy and there is power involved. And so you
Yep.
want to make sure that you're getting truly what they believe and how they're feeling about the situation. So I love the pulse piece, the
Yeah.
pulse survey that you're talking about. I think that's something that's extremely needed and something that should occur throughout the year, not just like once or twice.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. It has to, and it has to be continuous. All of this does, right? And so then, Josh, if I can like shift us now to like the second part of our conversation was around a member brought up just the struggle they are having. They are a coach that takes on a lot of other responsibilities as well. And so they're kind of in this like they refer to as like kind of like middle level management, right? And they're struggling with some struggles at their on their campus where there seems to be some issues that are being caused by or could just be not necessarily fixed or at least helped by supported by um, better clarity amongst and connection between the teachers and the administrators. And this person is struggling with the fact that at their level, what they have, they only have so much control. They only have so much access to the admin stuff. They have some access, but not full access. They're not in all the meetings. They're not in all the decisions. They don't always get looked at, whatever. But then also being seen by the teachers so often as an admin versus someone who's there to support them. And they're trying to figure out, how do I play this role of like making sure that both of the people that I support, right? I support my admins, but I'm here to support the teachers. How do I make sure that they both know that like I'm a safe spot to come? I'm not running this way or that way, regardless of what's being said. I'm going to try my best to fix things either way I can and support things. And I thought, you being as an assistant principal sometimes also fall into that spot of like, well, I'm not the quote unquote top dog, right? I don't make all the decisions, but I'm still an admin. But like, my job is to support you as teachers, and I want you to know that. Like, it's not like when we talk, I'm going to go up here. And same here, when we talk, I'm not going to go running down here. I'm not throwing anyone on a bus. My goal is to help everyone. How did you find that worked for you to like to give to your both to your staff and to the admin team that you supported and worked with to build that relationship and that clarity of like, this is what Josh does, this is why I'm safe to come to, this is why what my role is here. Like, how did you foster those relationships?
Well, I think the foster the relationship piece was easy because I was consistently checking with both folks, right? The teachers, but then also with the higher end. So the principal and even the district staff. I mean,
Hmm.
superintendent, it didn't matter who it was. And even if it was a large district, just making sure that they understand that you're there for the best interest of the students, the teachers, the campus, the parents, like everybody, and that you don't have an agenda. I think a lot of times folks have kind of an angle when they're doing
Hmm.
things as
Yeah.
far as especially in administration of like moving up the ladder and trying to have a spotlight on them and to show out like, hey, I have the ability to do something greater than where I am right now. And I think there's a distrust there with teachers specifically. And so they tend to want to find people at a lower position. So maybe it's an instructional coach. Even when I was a teacher trying to become an administrator, I had teachers all the time come to my into my classroom talking to me because they kind of saw me as a pseudo administrator, even though I didn't have the title. They
Yeah.
knew that if they could share it out, that maybe I would be able to bring that to the administration. So they didn't feel like it was them complaining or being negative or have a perception of, I don't agree with this initiative
Hmm.
that's going on. So I'm going to tell you to be kind of the middleman to be able to communicate that to the administration or to the district. And so for that, it's like, I don't mind taking that on. So I would communicate that I'm a safe space to be able to share out maybe some negative feedback or some concerns, but the understanding of like it shouldn't stop there. You need to have something that goes with that, right? As far as if I have a problem, what are 3 solutions that go along with that I can also
Mhm.
bring to the administration? And sometimes people are okay with their name being associated with that, sometimes not. It is what it is. It's just that you have to be the middleman. You have to kind of work both sides. And I think the trust piece of just everyone understanding on both ends that you are there purely to help and solve whatever's going on, and to be very transparent in the fact that I may or may not be able to change what's going on. Like I'll communicate what's happening, but at the same point, like if it goes awry or it doesn't go the direction that you want, I don't want that to be put on me as an individual, because I'm really just the middleman in the communication, not the decision making process.
Yeah.
So I was very transparent with that on both ends of like, if I'm going to the other party, it's like I
No
am purely
promises.
the messenger. I'm not the one that's making the decision.
Sure, sure. So if I'm hearing you, I'm hearing it's consistent communication and clarity, right? It's kind of it's crazy that like so many things come back to that, but the reality is like communication and clear, consistent communication can really not necessarily fix, but help and support the majority of situations, because so often things are, to your point, like someone thinks that there's an agenda that's going on that they didn't know about, or there's a miscommunication or lack of communication or the wrong. And if we can fix those pieces by having that clarity and that constant communication, like we can fix a lot of issues or
Well,
prevent a lot of issues.
yeah, and I think too, like I think there's just a lot of assumptions, right? And we talk about this with
Yeah.
student behavior a lot of times, where like if we don't have the full story, we fill it in with something negative. Well, we do that just in human nature. So like if a teacher sees
Yeah.
an initiative and they don't have the full scope of why the decision is being made, and maybe I have that information, I can put that to rest, because it's like, no, 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 it's not like that. You're assuming something negative. This is what's going on. This is why the decision was made. Here's some of the background information that you weren't pertinent to and wasn't communicated prior to. So sometimes you can kind of put fire out so it doesn't become something bigger and then really become a negative impact on the campus culture.
Yeah, I love it. Another great conversation. If you have anything to add, we'd love to see you drop into the comments. Let us know, or hit us up on social media and let us know. If you listen on the podcast, you can get us on social media. If you're watching this on YouTube or in the Facebook group, please drop your comments, share your thoughts. How do you approach these things? What challenges are you facing, so that we can continue to work and grow on that? And mention the Facebook group. Josh mentioned earlier, it's free to sign up for this. You get the registration for free over teachbetter.com/mastermind. And one of the other things you also get is our private but free Facebook group. So you don't have to wait for the Tuesday meetings. And if you can't attend the Tuesday meetings, we have a lot of people that can't attend that, and that's okay. You are busy. You have important jobs. You don't have to attend the meetings. You can attend them whenever you're available. You can attend them for 10 minutes or for the full 45 minutes, whatever. But you can always drop into the Facebook group. You can always ask for help there. You can always look for collaboration there. You can always share resources there. That's always available to go in between the Tuesday meetings, or if you're unable to make those. So teachbetter.com/mastermind for all of that. Josh, my friend, it's always fun for an excuse to jump on the mic and goof around with you for a little bit.
I don't know, man. I think we got to business today.
We did. You're right. Yeah, we were. Yeah, this was good. You're right.
We
Don't
worked
let
really
don't
hard
let me
today, Jeff.
downplay what we're doing here.
No, but for everyone, we appreciate you. We know it's crazy right now, especially as the holidays are coming up. We're here to support you. So if you need anything, please reach out to Jeff, myself, or anyone on the Teach Better team. As you know, it is going to get into a fun but more stressful time of the year as we're getting to the end of the semester. So with that, Jeff, I appreciate you. Can't wait for next
See ya.
Tuesday.
We'll see you.